Okay, Chair Sapien, it's 1 o'clock and I think we can move forward and start the meeting whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Kara. Good afternoon, members of the MAG Transit Committee. I want to start off by saying a huge thanks to Jason Crampton, a previous lead of this esteemed group. Thank you very much for your leading this group and your guidance and activism and advocacy for transit. Always appreciated. Relative to this meeting, as a reminder, please turn off your mic. Please turn your mics on and clearly state your name before speaking to ensure that members of the audience can hear you. And please mute your mics when not speaking to eliminate feedback noise. As a reminder, phone attendees will need to press *6 to unmute themselves. Because this is a virtual meeting, a roll call vote will be taken for each action item on the agenda. We will now begin the meeting with the roll call of all members. Kara?
Thank you, Chair Sapien. So I will start at the top here with Miss Dusenberry.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Dudley.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Banda. Mr. Crampton.
I'm here.
Thank you. Mr. Macias.
Present.
Thank you. Mr. Graves.
Here.
Thank you. Ms. Coomer.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Williams. Mr. Link.
Here.
Thank you. Ms. McMurdy. Mr. Kempton.
Here.
Thank you. Ms. Sorrell. Ms. Colbath.
Here.
Thank you. Ms. Arredondo.
Here.
Thank you. Ms. Wilkie.
Present.
Thank you. Mr. LaPuma.
Here.
Thank you. Ms. Corapella. Ms. Taylor. Mr. Stevenson.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Elias.
Here.
Thank you. Ms. Ketraside.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Anderson.
Here.
Thank you. And finally, Chair Sapien. Thank you. And last call for Mr. Banda, Mr. Williams, Ms. McMurdy, Ms. Sorrell, Ms. Corapella, or Ms. Taylor.
Mr. Bonda from Buckeye, is he present?
Thank you.
Yeah. And Christina McMurdy from Goodyear is here.
Thank you so much. All right, Chair Sapien, we now have a quorum confirmed, so we can move forward with the meeting.
Thank you so much. Item number 2, call to the audience. An opportunity for public comment on the agenda was provided ahead of the meeting. MAG staff, have we received any public comments?
Chair Sapien, we have not received comments for this item or any other item on the agenda for today.
All right, thank you so much. So item number 3, Transportation Planning Program Manager's Report. Audra Kester-Thomas, MAG Transportation Planning Program Manager, will provide us with a report on activities of general interest.
Thank you, Chairman Sapien, members of MAG Transit Committee. Happy New Year to you all. Joining us today on your first day of the new year with the first modal committee out the gate. Just a few items for your interest today. Since we've last met, I want to congratulate on behalf of MAG and its member agencies, Valley Metro and the City of Phoenix, on the November 19 signing of the $158 million full funding agreement for Northwest Extension Phase 2, an exciting development, of course, for that important light rail project. I'd also like to officially welcome Chairman Sapien, the City of Phoenix, the new chair for Transit Committee, and Mr. Kevin Link as Vice Chair of the City of Glendale. I'd also like to echo Chairman Sapien's comments and thank on behalf of MAG and all of our member agencies Jason Crampton for his service in chairing Transit Committee over the course of the last several months. Appreciate his leadership and certainly his continued participation on this committee. So welcome, Mr. Link and Mr. Sapien, to your new leadership positions. And again, thank you, Mr. Crampton, for your years of service. With that, that completes my report. Mr. Sapien, I'm happy to answer any questions offline.
Thank you very much. Does any member have any questions at this time? Me and Kevin Link teaming up, just like the good old days, huh, Kevin?
Absolutely.
All right. Next item number 4, approval of the November 1st, 2021 Transit Committee meeting minutes. Do any members of the committee have any questions or corrections to the minutes? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
This is Christina Goodyear, so moved.
And a second?
Salmon Tempe, second.
Thank you both. Carol will conduct a roll call vote. Please indicate how you vote when she calls on you.
Thank you again, Chair Sapien. Ms. Dusenberry, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Dudley.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Banda.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Crampton.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Macias.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Graves.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Coomer.
Abstain.
Thank you, Mr. Link.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. McMurdy.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Kempton.
I abstain.
Thank you, Ms. Colbath.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Arredondo.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Wilkie.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Lukuma.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Elias.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Cutcherside.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
And finally, Chair Sapien.
Aye.
Thank you.
Kara, this is Kristen with Surprise. I'm also here as well.
Okay, and how do you vote on the minutes, Ms.
Aye.
Taylor?
Aye.
Thank you.
This
And
is also Jody from Mesa. I'm on too.
thank you, Jody. And how do you vote on the minutes?
Aye.
Thank you. Chair Sapien, the motion passes.
All right. Thank you very much all. Next item, Transit Asset Management Regional Targets. Item number 5 on the agenda will be presented by Ted Brown, MAG Transportation Performance Program Manager. This item is on the agenda for action. Ted?
Mr. Chair, members of Transit Committee, my name is Ted Brown. I'm the Transportation Performance Program Manager here at MAG. It's a pleasure to be here today to talk to you about transit asset management. Next slide, please. So just a quick refresher on transit asset management, or TAM. MAP 21 came along and really changed the performance landscape in a number of ways, including new asset management requirements. So all recipients of Chapter 53 funds that own, manage, or operate capital assets need to have a TAM plan, and that plan should outline several items, including the people, tools, and processes the agency will use to support asset management at their agencies. So to be clear here, the item we have for you today only covers a small portion of the overall TAM plans related specifically to targets, but there's certainly more to the story in the individual TAM plans. Next slide, please. So FTA recognizes that not all transit agencies that receive, or excuse me, not all agencies that receive those Chapter 53 funds are the same. So they've created a tiered system. Tier 1 agencies must have their own plan, while Tier 2 agencies may elect to develop their own TAM plans or participate in a group plan. The graphic on the right gives you a quick synopsis of how the agency tiers are determined. In the MAG region, we currently have 4 Tier 1 agencies: Valley Metro RPTA, Valley Metro Rail, the City of Phoenix, and the City of Tempe. Those 4 agencies provided the data for the targets we'll be discussing today. Next slide, please. So to drill down just a little bit, TAM requires that providers of public transportation measure and set performance targets in 4 areas. rolling stock and equipment, which are both related to the age of the asset, then facilities and infrastructure, which are reported as the condition of the asset. On the right, we have a very useful cheat sheet from the FTA, which outlines the useful life benchmarks for a variety of transit assets and vehicle types. Next slide, please. Now, before I dive in too deep on this slide, I want to be clear that I have the privilege to be presenting the hard work of others today. MAG does not maintain the data sets needed to compile this information, and this table in particular is the result of the hard work of Wendy Plantinitis over at Valley Metro, Carl Montgomery at the City of Phoenix, and Eric Iverson and Sam Stevenson at the City of Tempe. To grossly oversimplify how this was created, assets across the agencies are inventoried, their age is compared to their useful life benchmarks, or they are rated for their condition using the term rating scale, and then a percentage is calculated for reporting to the NTD. This table, for the very first time, represents regional TAM targets. We're presenting the targets here as a percentage, and then to help you contextualize that as the actual numbers as well. Now, a lot of work has gone into aligning the categories and reporting across our 4 Tier 1 agencies, and I'm very, very proud to be presenting this regional table to you today. I should note that the Federal Transit Administration has not set any penalties for missing any TAM targets, nor have they set any rewards for attaining a target. However, transit providers are required to submit an annual narrative report to the NTD to provide a description of any change in the condition of a provider's transit system from the previous year, and describe your progress made during the year to meet the performance targets set in the previous year. Next slide, please. Now, TAM is an ongoing requirement, and to that end, I thought it'd be useful to mention some of our next steps. First, we've established a TAM working group that is meeting and will continue to meet every 6 months to discuss TAM-related items and help refine how we report our regional targets. As we promised in last year's presentation, TAM targets will be presented to this body annually. And finally, when we do come back next year, we hope to have the very first iteration of longitudinal TAM reporting available to you. Now that we've standardized the reporting across our Tier 1 agencies, we can report year over year how those regional targets are changing. Next slide, please. Mr. Chair, the item is on the agenda today for action. That completes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Ted. Are there any comments or questions before we entertain a motion?
Mr. Chair, this is Kevin.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Ms. Brown, I just have a quick question. It's more of a curiosity factor for me. Why is Tempe a Tier 1? Is it because they own the buses they operate?
And the number of them that they own. Sorry, I made my audio cut out. Yes, sir, that is correct. And due to the number of buses that they own as well.
Okay. I figured that's what it was, but thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the team? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Mr. Chair, this is Kevin. I'll motion approval.
Kristen from Surprise, I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Carol will do a roll call vote. Please indicate how you vote when she calls on you.
Thank you, Chair Sapien. Ms. Dusenberry?
Aye.
Mr. Dudley?
Aye.
Mr. Bonda?
Aye.
Mr. Crampton?
Aye.
Mr. Macias?
Aye.
Mr. Graves?
Aye.
Ms. Coomer?
Aye.
Mr. Link?
Aye.
Ms. McMurdy?
Aye.
Mr. Kempton?
Aye.
Ms. Sorrell?
Aye.
Ms. Colbath?
Aye.
Ms. Arredondo?
Aye.
Ms. Wilkie?
Aye.
Mr. LaPuma? Ms. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Elias?
Aye.
Ms. Ketcherside?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
And Chair Sapien?
Aye.
Thank you, Chair Sapien. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Kara. Thank you, everyone, for your support and moving that item forward. Item number 6 on the agenda is to be presented by me. We don't have a formal presentation, but if you look in the packet, you will see the letter City of Phoenix received for the region from the FTA November 23rd. And many of you are familiar with this process of the FTA conducting a triennial, as the name indicates, once every 3 years. This was supposed to take place last year, but because of COVID, many things, as you know, have been shuffled around. And another aspect is the fact that FTA generally does not do these directly. They hire contractors to undertake the reviews on their behalf. So we did know it was coming, and I've seen on a couple of APTA discussion boards that several other agencies across the country are in the same position. They're having to gather all of their information in response to the FTA. Kind of initially, my understanding was they were just going to try to get things back on track. Now it looks like they're playing catch up, because I've seen a good number of agencies talking about they are entering a triennial review. So just wanted to make everyone aware. A good number of you participate on the Valley Metro meeting groups, including RTAG, where we've discussed this. And you may have also received an email from Shally Ryman on the City of Phoenix team requesting information, or at a minimum, making you aware. So basically, any of you that have facilities, programs, services, vehicles, especially, anything funded by the FTA that comes to the region as part of those regional funds and subsequently get redistributed, they are coming to review a whole host of items. There are 23 different items as outlined in the letter. And in the letter, there are also a couple of links that you can utilize. Most useful to me is a comprehensive review contractor's manual. Basically, you can go in there and see the areas that the FTA is going to review, what they look for, what type of documentation or files they ask for. So just wanted to make sure everyone is informed and prepared. And our ask as a designated recipient for the region, and teaming together with you guys as we always do, if you do receive a request for data, files, or maybe even an on-site visit that may or may not happen, we don't know yet, with FTA contractor staff, I would ask that you make that basically your front burner. Right now, we are in the process of aggregating all of the information as contained in their very long letter to us. And all of that information is being uploaded into a site that they have provided. What they will do then is conduct basically a desk review of that documentation. They may ask follow-up questions or ask for additional information. Right now, just FYI, what they're looking at is sometime in June to actually come out. June 13th through 17th is what they've told us tentatively. Again, that may change. That may be in person, that may be virtual. But just to let everyone know that middle week of June is when they're looking to actually conduct the triennial itself. So just wanted to make sure everyone is aware and see if anyone had any questions. Again, the FTA's website and that contractor's manual is very, very useful. But just wanted to see if anyone had any questions relative to that, and to thank you for, again, making that a front burner item. Again, this is more work for some of you than others because of the vehicles, facilities, or programs that you may undertake using federal funds. But I will tell you, we never know what they're going to look into or how deep. You know, it may be a mile wide and an inch deep, or vice versa. We never know. But we are in the middle of that, and I'll take any questions anyone may have.
Hey, Sue, this is Christina Goodyear. If there's a way that you guys could kind of give us a debrief after this is all over, you know, I didn't think it was going to be June. I thought it was going to be sooner. So I'm happy that there's a little extra time. But just something afterwards that kind of gives us a rundown, not a blow by blow, but kind of a rundown of what the expectation actually turned out to be and how the region sits and that sort of thing. I think it'd be real helpful for all of us going forward.
Absolutely, and I'll clarify. June is when they're looking to do their standard review, but between us submitting the information on January 21st and that time, they may very well, have follow-up questions. We don't know. I think they said between March and June that may happen. But June is the actual time when they've scheduled to either have ongoing everyday virtual visits with us or actually come out if the environment is conducive to doing so. Yes, we can absolutely do that, Christine. One thing that they usually do in that comprehensive review contractor's manual, the first couple of pages show a summary of kind of what are the hot button items, what are the topics that they're finding the most findings in. But of course, they're kind of, like, from what I can tell, about a year behind in the book. But that's the one we have to go by. But they generally have in those opening chapters a summary of, here's a high level overview of where the most findings have been, the areas. And, there's a lot of areas. Used to be 21 areas, now it's 23, I believe. It could be vehicle maintenance, facility maintenance, financial. Now they're looking at things like cybersecurity for rail and things like that. But they generally do encapsulate at the beginning of that book, here's a general area where we're seeing the most findings. But yes, we can share that, Christine, after they're done. What they generally do is send us a letter saying, we review your region's information. Here's the findings, here's the corrective actions we're asking for, and here's some due dates. But yeah, we can absolutely share that after the fact.
Great, thanks a lot.
Any other questions from anyone? All right, thank you, everybody, for indulging us on that item. Item number 7, are there any requests by a committee member for a future agenda item? Y'all are a talkative bunch today. All right, our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 7th, 2022 at 1 p.m. via teleconference. With no further business, the meeting of the MAG Transit Committee is now adjourned at 1:23 p.m. We do not need a roll call for adjournment, as excited as you all may be to do another one. Thank you all so much. Have a great week and a great new year.
Thanks, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesus. Great job.
Thanks.
Good job, Jesus. We'll see you later.